Well, welcome. Thank you for joining this virtual learning feast. It is the first day, the first course of the feast. It is a webinar, part of the 16 weeks course, the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership course, Earth, People, and Life Supporting Literacy. That's teaching and bringing practically and interactively skills for personal growth and the co-creation of a thriving future. So this is part of that course. It is something that I'm gifting to you for my birthday, my 40th birthday. And as a short webinar to invite you to learn something from this long course and spend this time together, being with each other in community, exploring sustainability, regeneration, and leadership and what that looks like. So today in this webinar, and for this webinar series, I'm presenting 4 different things. Two of the days, I will be presenting sustainability regenerative leadership skills that anyone can and should develop. And then for the other 2 days, the other 2 webinars, I'll be presenting 2 rituals. I couldn't find a better word for it. 2 rituals that anyone could, 2 sustainability regenerative leadership rituals that anyone can and should develop. So with that said, the first one for today, in this first webinar, the agenda is to first start with a word of gratitude. I will be sharing a short presentation. We will be engaging, and I will be engaging you in an exercise related to the subject, which might require you to write something down and or share on the microphone with others. And then I'll open it up to discussions if there's any, and any questions to be answered. For this live webinar, I am doing a giveaway, which is a full scholarship for the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership course. And then we will be discussing some opportunities to learn and connect further. Possibly we'll do those, we'll do the opportunities to learn and connect further first, and then the giveaway. The theme for today is working with nature, and the skills and practices explored will be to integrate with ecosystems services. And the presentation is on effortless action. So before anything, I have discovered in my long teaching career that starting with gratitude, not just in learning, but just in general, like just starting your day or starting any project or anything, starting with gratitude is really powerful. So I adopted this from Coming Back to Life, Joanna Macy's work. And why start with gratitude? Because we have such a gift. Life is such a gift. Just to live is holy, and to be is a blessing. And when we are grateful, when I'm grateful at least, I really become present. So gratitude brings presence. And when we're present, we definitely can seize the unrepeatable chance to be alive in this specific moment. And being grateful, excuse me for that, being grateful is really not dependent on our external circumstances. It's really, all of it is grace if we recognize it, no matter what's happening around us. And being grateful before we start anything, just being grateful in general, really does not feed in the current model. in the current paradigm. It really brings a new world paradigm. With gratitude, I really like this quote by Buckminster Fuller: to change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete, instead of fighting the existing model. So gratitude really is very different than what we are being invited to be and to do on a regular basis out there in the world. Further than that, gratitude is a sacred duty with words that come before all else. Gratitude and the dignity of self-respect it engenders helped many of the native cultures oppressed around the world for thousands of years to survive. So there's stories of people being grateful in the most horrifying situations also. There's this beautiful book, actually, The Men's Search for Meaning, where there's such an explanation of and the story of people being in such an oppressed situation and still being able to be grateful to be alive and be with each other. Everything really proceeds more easily and productively when we start with being grateful. And really, it stands us in our deeper powers when we are being grateful. So with that said, one of the best ways, I mean, we could be grateful in many ways. We can, and again, this is going to be one of the presentations, one of the webinars in this series, that celebrates as a feast for my birthday. In one of these webinars, I'm going to talk further about presence and gratitude, and just gratitude in general, and the many ways to practice gratitude as a ritual. Again, for these many reasons and so many others, the ones that I just shared right now with you. And there are many ways to kind of be grateful. Some of my practices would be, for example, in some of my courses, including this course, the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership 16 weeks course. We will start every single session with gratitude, where I invite people to take 1 minute, either with eyes closed or even with eyes open. Some people like to take notes, and just reflect what are they most grateful for, even from this last week. And it's really powerful, really bringing people present to the moment. So other times when we are pressed by time, we might be we're experiencing just like, hey, take a moment and really think the 3 things that you were grateful for from last week. Or just like in that specific present moment, because if you're thinking about last week, you're kind of like looking behind too. So it can be done in many ways. I discovered that taking a moment of silence and even closing the eyes for 1 minute and thinking about what one is grateful for is really powerful. So I am going to do that right now. I'm going to put a timer. And I invite you, both people that are live and people that are watching this recorded, to take 1 minute to think about what are you most grateful for right now. So I'm going to do this with you. I'm not going to mute myself, but I'm just going to start the timer. Think about 3 things that you are most grateful for in this moment. Whew. I was really being grateful for all kinds of things there. So I'll share, and if other people that are live want to share via chat, or they want to share and take the microphone, definitely. But it's so important. If you are watching this recorded, for example, go ahead and take that minute and then write down what came to you. So I will share what I'm grateful for, especially that this is recorded exactly on my birthday, 1st of December 2022, and I turned 40 today. So I am three things. I'm grateful that I am able to be around my children and my partner and be able to see them and be with them on a regular basis. Just being able to observe my kids and who they are and what they're becoming and their experience with life. Really powerful. Second, I'm really grateful for um, being able to be in this space that I am in and being able to work with the land to produce for myself, my family, and the community, to produce good food and other goods, food and medicine, and experiences also, both online and in person. We have people that come to workshops and farm tours and 2-week courses and camp outs. And we actually have a course right now where people are going to come in the weekends. I'm really grateful to be able um, to have had the opportunity to get to this point, to have this space that I've envisioned in the past. And with that comes, being able to be around the animals that I care for on a regular basis, and growing food, so many amazing greens and spring, summer, and fall. Milking the goats, getting eggs from the chickens. It's just, and also I'm grateful for being able to have all the space so that these animals can really have a really, really amazing life and sharing in their surplus. This is the dream of all permaculture people, and especially of permaculture teachers, so that they can show that they, like I am, I'm showing that I'm walking the talk here. And the third thing that I'm I'm grateful for being alive, and I'm grateful for all the experiences that I had to get here, to get to be 40 years old, and be who I am, with all the goods and all the not so goods. So I'm really grateful for those three things. And I see that people are passing the opportunity to share, and I hope that I'm going to stop the recording here for a moment. And here you are. Okay, so I hope that you wrote down some of the things that you're grateful for. So from there, hopefully you feel, I do feel a sense of presence, that like I'm here, from that gratitude. And I feel like I can move forward with more ease, and share the wisdom that I plan to share with you via this session, this webinar. So this effortless action idea here that we are exploring, this it's really a skill, and it is a skill that is part of stepping into leadership and sustainability and regeneration, and also a regenerative leadership, which means that you can practice with this effortless action which I also entitle Selflessness, and you'll hear why in a moment. And always have this practice become better and better to regenerate you and regenerate everything that you are doing, and put regenerative systems in place in your life, both internally and out there, and take regenerative actions. And also look at it as a practice that is regenerative because it can be continued, and it's sustainable too. It can be continued from generation to generation, and hopefully future generations will get to have this skill even earlier and more naturally, as you will see, because we are practicing this, we are developing the skills, we are integrating selflessness and effortless action into our own lives. So with that said, here's a definition. Again, this is a skill to develop, and it could take time. This webinar is to invite you to start practicing with that. Skills take a while, right? Just like, I don't know, making baskets in basketball, right? Like making your threes or even your layups, or meditating, and meditating right and on a regular. It's a skill. Being on like having a ritual is a skill, actually. But anyway, let me give kind of like some explanation that's adopted from Ling Feng, that wrote Effortless Action, a short essay in a book that I am using quite a lot in the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership course, the 16 weeks course. So effortless actions, the definitions, excuse me here, the definition or the words used to describe what effortless action or effortless actions might be is to look at it as the total effort of all beings involved in a related action, instead of just effort of the self. Effortless action is participative and inclusive rather than passive and self-centric, instrumental. It is working with the flow of nature, a creative participation in the cosmos in a manner that coheres with nature rather than resist it. It is wisely and intelligently making use of what is already available in nature. So before moving forward, I know these are quite a lot of words. We could just be really reflecting on this, on what these words are saying that effortless action is, which is actually coming from a Tao tradition called Wu Wei, W-U, and then another word, W-E-I, and you can see it, it's here on the screen, really discussing, and Taoism really expresses it the most. Yet, before moving forward, because again, we can really, really reflect just on these words of defining effortless action, and saying something to the effortless action, I think the best would be to show and to share an example. So I'm going to read instead of kind of like speaking it out, just to kind of like keep the time going. So a good way to start describing this is first to share what comes from the Tao tradition. So as one of the most distinctive characteristics of Tao tradition and Tao thought, effortless action is a form of intelligence that is of knowing the principles, structures, and trends of human and natural affairs so well that achievements can be made through the least amount of effort. And that sounds pretty magical, right? If we would have all of that amazing knowledge and wisdom about how things work out there, and then in our quest to achieve, to make something happen, it would be so effortless with the least amount of effort, right? It is important to recognize that in the Tao tradition, which urges selflessness as opposed to self-centeredness, effort and effortless action refers to the total effort of all beings involved in and related to an action, instead of just effort of the self. Properly understood, then, effortless action is participative and inclusive rather than passive, and anthropocentrically instrumental, just like I said earlier in the slide here. But here's an example of it. So a recent advertisement for Volkswagen vehicles can help illustrate the difference between total effort and self-effort. The advertisement shows how easy it is to drive and park the Volkswagen 4x4, followed by the slogan, the brand Tiguan, simply effortless. It makes perfect sense, easy to use, hence simply effortless. But is it really effortless? It may be for the driver, but it is certainly not effortless when viewed through the perspective of total effort. The engineer's efforts in designing the car, materials and energy used in producing the car, the fuel imported from war zone for running the car parks and roads that need building, and the effort required to deal with the health consequences of pollution, accidents, and the sedentary lifestyle of the driver. In addition, the fuels burned to build and run the car release carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which requires current and future generations to make great effort to deal with the consequences of climate change. And this is a statement that's made in this example here, just to look at it in that way. So, on the other hand, reorganizing life so that the most journeys can be conducted on foot, by bicycle or wheelchair, requires physical movement. But in comparison with driving, it is effortless action, since it flows with a natural order of things, which is for humans to expend bodily energy in moving from one place to another. So, pretty powerful to look at this effortless action, this total effort versus self-effort, right? It's great to kind of like think right now, and I know when I first encountered the subject, and I've asked a lot of other people what popped into their head immediately when they thought about this. I'm sure you can think about a lot of things that you may be doing on a regular basis that you may be thinking that, wow, this is effortless action. That if you're actually looking at the total effort of, let's say, putting your clothes in the washer, starting it, and effortlessly is washing all of those things, right? There are a lot of things to think about here. What went into building that machine? What kind of energy is it using? What's the source of the electricity, for example? And what does it produce after? Where does the water go, and how is it being treated? Unless you have a gray water system, which I teach a lot about in my permaculture courses, and there's something that anybody could really put in their system just to reduce some of that total effort and its impact. So this is what effortless action is. And to step into it, really, I kind of started to do it, would be to start mind mapping the total effort, which means, what went into having this, specific thing that I've thought about for the longest time as an effortless action that I'm taking, like, again, washing your clothes or washing your dishes. So many other things, really. But again, the example is like the self-parking car that we just talked about, the Volkswagen. Nuclear energy, for example. Wow, it's just like this, doesn't occupy a lot of space. It's just producing this really, huge amounts of energy, and we can benefit greatly from it. But what is really the total effort of that? The mining of whatever is needed for it, the raw material, right? The building of these huge facilities to, of course, not as big as the petroleum refineries and fossil fuel related places, but still, and also the all the energy and all both human energy and additional energy that's to monitor the nuclear energy production and the impact of whatever is left after and how that's being stored. What are the dangers that it could bring to us? So there's many other things that we can mind map, but this is how you would step into effortless action, actually, and it's going to make a little bit more sense in a moment. There's like 4 slides here on this specific screen. The first step is to start mind mapping, which means looking at what's the total effort. Like even with this, communicating with my friend through the phone, you can even like really create a great mind map of what's the total effort really of sending that text or calling somebody, and then explore effortless alternatives. That's like the first step. Now, there is some more that we can do. And again, that first one, I will invite you to actually do choose something in your life that you've been considered effortless action for the longest time, and pass it through this kind of like mind mapping total effort look, like just the example that was for the car. And then start thinking, what's the alternative to that? Like it was discussed here that instead of driving the car, walking to places or having an environment, a place where you live, where you can actually walk to places where you're you're integrating with ecosystem services, where like your body is giving you the energy to walk, you're exercising your muscles, your brain, you're inhaling good air, hopefully, you're seeing things, you really are part of nature and with it. The second step into effortless action is to completely avoid competition and implicitly consumerism and hyper individualism. What does that mean? That means to seek interdependence and collaboration for the betterment of all, to get into teamwork, into physical work, into design work, to do these things because we are naturally adapted for these things, and they resonate with who and what we are. What does that mean? So looking at certain things that we may be doing for ourselves or for our family, or just doing in general that we think it's effortless, like purchasing specific things to satisfy specific feelings that we may be having, to feel good about ourselves, right? And a lot of people really are doing that, or really enjoying specific things that are so like individually and self-centered. These things have a bigger total effort than when we are doing things with others. When we're replacing, and it's also a subject that we discuss more in this course, when we're replacing satisfying a specific emotional need with purchasing or buying things or enjoying something that we already bought, that we go to in order to satisfy that emotion, including even watching a movie, for example, that when you're watching the movie, you may be satisfying certain needs, like the need for community. You're watching a movie where there's people are involved and they're doing things, and you're also almost like feeling yourself like you're there. Or you're watching a movie to get entertained and to be entertained, or to I don't know, to get excited about things, action movies, for example. And if we shift that understanding and looking at these emotions and actually going to do exactly what is going to satisfy these emotions, then we're becoming, we're stepping into effortless action. We're stepping into this flow of nature. So instead of, looking for the specific thrills in watching a movie, for example, looking for the specific thrills or getting these thrills, this emotion satisfied by being with other people, by spending time with other people, our family, friends, new community. This is also inviting us to look at it and say that when we're getting together, when we're building community, when we're working together, even if, let's say we're building a food forest, like we started to build here on our farm with a lot of the students that come to our permaculture courses. It's just so incredible that people love being with each other and doing things with each other. A lot of things that one way that I'm teaching in my permaculture courses is to incorporate basically soil knowledge with water knowledge, and plant knowledge, and integrating all three of them in the form of, for example, a beginning of a fruit tree guild inside of a fish scale bioswale, for example, system. So students get so excited about that, and it's just so incredible that they are they're working pretty hard. They're sweating, they're moving materials, they're digging holes, they're bringing soil and all of that. And one might be saying, well, there's quite a lot of effort in there. Well, yes, there's quite a lot of effort that has a lot of positive outcomes. And that total effort is actually so effortless, because that's what we are naturally adapted to do, to be with each other and do these kind of things. So that's the second step into effortless action, into Wu Wei. To after we looked at some of these things in our lives that we consider them as effortless, to get going, we examine them and we explore effortless alternatives, and then we step into those. We completely leave behind competition and consumerism and hyper individualism, and seek interdependence with other people. And with that, really, to step into effortless action, we ought to overcome the competitive atmosphere and legacy of traditional educational institutions, because that's where we really got to look at things as effortless, but didn't actually look at the total effort involved into some of these things. And this is the traditional education institutions. The system has been conducive to be the opposite of stepping into effortless action and being selfless. So we're invited to learn and act together in real projects of value for the future, not for grades, right? And this applies to all kinds of effort and result measurement schemes, like from jobs, careers, and any other things that we want to achieve. Instead of looking for that effortless, what we think effortless action to achieve a specific goal, to uh, manage and complete a specific project, to get to a specific point, to do the sales for the business, to build the homestead that you're dreaming about, and self-sufficiency around yourself. Uh, Effortless action is inviting us. I mean, yeah, we think it would be effortless action because we're using all kinds of technologies and you might be having the cash to pay for that, to build all these things around you. But effortless action is inviting us to act together, to do it with others. Anything really. And look at designing situations and spaces that would allow us to do that, which is basically, for example, our intention here at Sun and Bloom Farm on this land to bring together a village, and we've been working on it. We've had some trials with certain people. We do have some people that are part of our village right now, and we're looking to actually create a larger village, right? So that we don't have to take the car every day to or whenever to go and buy specific things. We're bringing a village together so that we can have different people that could, I don't know, make things here, grow food, of course. That's one of our biggest things, and doing it with others. And yes, of course, we have been doing it by ourselves. We can still do it. We have ways. We bought some machinery and some technology. But definitely when we're doing it together with other people, it feels so much more effortless. When we are, moving the compost around and planting and, caring for these plants and fixing irrigation and watering and harvesting and canning and all that with other people, compared to even if we're doing it with certain machinery around here. It feels so effortless because of it's so natural. So that's the presentation on effortless action. What I'm inviting you to do, and we do in the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership course, is looking at this as a continuous skill to develop. Because right now, the first step for us would be to start mind mapping the total efforts of certain things that we're doing as we're discovering them. And hopefully when you get to learn and to hear this presentation, you'd be like, okay, I get what's being transmitted. That things that I thought that they were effortless actions, like effortless to, self-driving cars or, to get from point A to point B, or effortless action, turn on the TV and get entertained and, relax and watch something, right? Or, whatever, going to the store and getting the food already prepared. I come home, I throw it in the microwave or just warm it up. Effortless. So the first thing is for us to step into that Wu Wei mind kind of like set and start mind mapping all kinds of like different things that we do, the total effort in it. We get so many other insights from it. And in time, it could really become really magical and powerful that you're able to do it like instantly. And to the point where you'd be like, I'm not going to buy a new sweater this year. I'm going to knit it myself, or find somebody to knit it with, or find somebody that I could be part of the conversation while they're doing it for me. So things like that, that's kind of like an invitation. It's really not going backwards, really, because if you really explore effortless alternatives, these type of alternatives that are working with the flow of nature and who we really are, wisely, intelligently making use of what is already available in nature, it would definitely be more worth of an action and life to be living. which really, if you look deep inside or you see what's happening out there in the world, what people are yearning for is that connection in general. So this first thing, this first skill is to mind map the total effort. The second one is to explore effortless alternatives. And this may be a little bit more difficult for some people. Most people are very intuitive what they can replace one thing with that will be with the flow of nature. But the easiest would be to like completely step out of that kind of like competition with others, even if it's like direct or indirect. Like I'm getting more than others. Like that's also a self-reflection thing. But to step into seeking interdependence with other people, and you may have to even take the role of teaching others about effortless action and inviting them to look at it. The beautiful thing when you start mind mapping is that you discover of like what a big effect some of these things have that I've been considering with effortless action, and negative effects, not just on yourself, but just out there on the environment and other people. So really, really the invitation is to start analyzing these different things, which is a skill that you can work on daily. And then the next one is to collaborate and seek collaboration with others and do things with others, which is just so powerful. And I love seeing people doing that. So in our course, in the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership course, we do go a few steps further with this, a little bit more analysis. Besides the presentation, there are a few readings that the students get in order to deepen the understanding of what effortless action is and how one can step into it and start practicing effortless action, start feeling and seeing the effects of it. And then, of course, the rest of the course before this session, for example, and after this session, all of the other skills, the values and ways of being that we are exploring are basically helping people make effortless action easier to step into, because there's all kinds of things that can come. Well, yeah, I'm looking for community, but I just really can't find the right people. So there's answers definitely on how do you find those people? What are the things that you may be wanting to self-reflect about your values and the things that you would need in order to move forward to be with others. And then also, true, like step by step, here's how you can start your own community, how you can start bringing people around you and move in a direction where you don't have to find the people that are already skilled in all these things, but you can be the spark that starts a community with people interested in building specific type of skills that are complementary to each other, or even if it's the same kind of like skills to work together towards. So that's a really powerful part of what the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership course is all about. Like if you were to just learn this by itself, yes, it's powerful, and then go ahead and like look for the rest of the pieces for it. So with that said, I do have 2 invitations. Of course, right now you're watching this recorded, you are not seeing basically our conversation on mind mapping effortless actions and looking for alternatives in effortless actions. And I'm glad that I remembered to tell you that, but my first invitation is to join the next webinars for people that are here live or are seeing this right away. And the second invitation is to join the 16-week course. As I said, every single one of the subjects that we are going over, the topics we're going over, the skills, values, ways of being that we are exploring are all basically making that the participant in the course a more complete sustainability regenerative leader to move forward, no matter how that looks like. Leadership in what? Leadership in your own life and living the life, your own life, improving what you're already doing, or taking it, doing new things, which I've discovered a lot of students that come to my permaculture courses have been doing, and students that have been taking some of my sustainability courses that I've taught in different environments. This is really a synthesis of a lot of the work that I've been doing out there, both as a teacher, also as a student, and as an observer of the impacts of different type of skills that are necessary and needed, and anyone can actually develop the skills. And I can see it both at the professional level, people that work in sustainability or not, and for anyone that has their own business, or they're just working for a different business, just building their career. The skills are just powerful. Even if you're taking the skill, for example, of effortless action, the skills of effortless action, and you start applying this in your life on a regular basis, you can, and you don't have to go in a direction where you're starting new communities to start businesses or something like that, but you can bring it to your own community already. I gotta say, people that have taken and learned about effortless action and developed this kind of like view and way of being, way of looking at things. I know people that are very, very high up in sustainability leadership positions in corporations and in governments that have been using this skill and teach it and use it in analyzing projects, for example, in analyzing new products, in analyzing new programs, and they're using it themselves on their own life to live a specific life that works with them and their family. So I'm inviting you to join this 16 weeks course. Again, come to the next webinar. I think the next one, if I'm not mistaken, I will be discussing, I'm going to have to check it out, actually. This is fun, but I don't remember what the next one. I just know that on Saturday, we're going to talk more about gratitude as a ritual. And then on Sunday, as really, really awesome, looking into social consciousness and, skills of self-reflection. I think tomorrow evening, we're doing, the next webinar is on backcasting, envisioning your own future with and how to get there, how to get to that specific dream, which we have actually 2 sessions dedicated in the course itself, given participants insights into how to plan and how to stick to the plan. And again, there's going to be an invitation to join a community, do it with others, as always. And if you're one of those people that, that kind of like, you've been disappointed before from communities, or, you're still exploring an existing community, or you don't think that there could be changes, we have a lot of amazing practical basically skills just like this one, right? How do you step into effortless action? You mind map, you look for alternatives, you kind of like quit that always like trying to find a technological or something easy to do to to fix certain emotions or problems in life, and always look to be interdependent with others and be in the flow of nature. So yeah, there are a lot of them, and you are invited to join this course. There's some amazing people that have joined this, and I'm thinking that just like in the course that we are still in right now, that lifelong friendships and possible partnerships will be forming, including with myself. I'm open to that, and with our village. So 16 weeks starts the second Monday in January. It ends in April. Weekly, live and interactive. We get together 1 day a week, and then we also have a forum where you would be performing certain tasks. Like one task for Effortless action would be to basically find these different things in your life, do a mind mapping, and explore alternatives, and then even take action on that. Step into that alternative, and especially if it has something to do with doing things with others. Plus a few more readings that you'll be getting. So yeah, every week you would be engaging in performing a task, so you can kind of like deepen your understanding. Some people spend a lot of time on it, other people spend minimal, and it still works. Yeah, really powerful, amazing skills. Take a look and see all of these different things that we would be exploring. They're here in the circle, right? Engage with informal education, resist destructive social, cultural, economic forces, meet human needs with the regenerative practices, integrate with ecosystem services, which we kind of discussed today with the Effortless action. Think of the world relationally, discover the planet as alive, envision a regenerative future, embody regenerative values, communicate across cultures and within cultures, design earth-centered lifestyles and businesses, choose earth and people-centered technologies, solve sustainability problems, develop emotional strength, feel the interdependence in the web of life, create the new education, lead the new society. Really powerful themes and skills and ways of being that we are designing and we are exploring and we're practicing with. So thank you so much for being part of this. One lucky participant is going to be in this course, and hopefully you, if you're watching this recorded or or you were present here, you can join the course. That's it's sliding scale, so it's designed to help anyone participate in. And these are the type of skills that will definitely build a lot of personal resilience for you moving forward. Also, the course, you'll get a certificate, and if you're going to college, you can get college credit. Because I'm teaching this course at college level, not all the subjects actually, but I am teaching it in this specific format of college level. So excited. I hope to see you in the course.